Hey guys, welcome to Inside Talk with Faizan to the WebdriverIO series specifically. And this is our part 2 video. In part 0, we talked about WebdriverIO and how we can learn that. In part 1, we specifically discussed about how we can install and configure WebdriverIO into our system. And now guys, in this particular video, you are gonna write your first test script with me, okay? So I hope we can get started with this. So let me walk you through this. The last thing we discussed was this is an auto-generated test cases, and we are gonna run that particular test cases, and we're gonna see how it works. Now this is something which was predefined, and now the thing is we will write our own test case, right? Okay, let this get finished first. We'll start writing our own test case. And to give you a small context, like what we are going to automate today is something like I'm taking an example of our Amazon.in website. So basically what I'm trying to do is open the Amazon.in website, search for a product specifically, click on enter, and then see whether it has displayed those particular things or not, right? Pretty simple use case. We'll get started with that. So for now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to comment this. I'm just going to copy this and put it over here. And let this be there for a while. I'll just comment this off for now. So our future will be, let me just replace this. Testing Amazon website. Okay. So what is our scenario? We are going to search for a product. Okay. Cool. Now this is something jerkin language, what we say, no, given when then it's based on Cucumber. If you remember, right, when we started setting up the configuration, we did saw what kind of framework we use. Let me just show you here. That's why by default, we have this imports and those stuff. See, this is already by default over here, and we have services as Chrome driver. So ideally it will work on our Chrome driver. It won't launch Mozilla or something like that. Okay, coming back. I'll just remove all these stuffs for now. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'll write this particular scenario given I am on the Amazon homepage. Cool. And then what we can do, then I'm gonna search it over here, right? So when I search for a mobile, say for example, I'm going to search for some mobile, and then probably I will do a validation. So basically in Cucumber, what happens in this jerkin, what happens is, right, so when we say given, it's basically considered as a precondition over here. When is a condition, and then is a validation which we do. Okay, so when I search for mobile, then okay, then I see OnePlus. Okay, probably we can consider while searching for mobile, I have entered OnePlus 70, whatever it is. I've just entered that particular thing. I see OnePlus mobile listed in the page. When you say page, it's basically a search page. So if you see now, if I go and click over here, it says as undefined step. Now I need to define each implementation for this particular file. I'm just copying this, and then I'm going to the step definitions file here. Okay, so these are predefined things, just let it be there. Now I'm writing my own implementations, which you have said, given our test case, right? Our test step. I am on the Amazon homepage. Now I'm using an async function over here. So basically we can do both via synchronous function and asynchronous function. I'm specifically using asynchronous function because WebdriverIO has kind of discontinued with the synchronous function. What is synchronous and asynchronous function is a completely different thing to discuss. If possible, I will try to make a video to walk you through the differences. But for now, just stay with me on this async function. Cool. Now what I'm gonna do is we have declared this as a function. If you go back to this particular page, you can see these two things are undefined. You can see this highlight thing, right? It's by default highlighted saying it's not undefined. Now this is defined. Okay, I'm on the Amazon. Now I need to do something for this. Like what I need to do. When we say async function, you need to use this await function for each statement, await. So if you open and see like what in the WebdriverIO documentation, what is the command or what is the API which we use to navigate through websites. This is a good thing about WebdriverIO. You don't need much coding knowledge. Everything is pretty much predefined in APIs. You need to open a browser dot navigate, which is basically a URL. Boom, that's HTTPS Amazon.in. Okay, so now I can just close this and run. It will work, but the thing is, it won't be. It will be very quick. So what I'm gonna do is await browser dot. I'm just gonna give a pause over here. I'll give a 5 seconds wait so that we can see the Amazon.page loading. Okay, cool. I've saved this. What I will do is for now, just to make sure, because it will display an error saying these two things are undeclared. I'm just gonna remove this and save, and I'll just try to run this. So ideally, it should open our Amazon.in page and stay there for 5 seconds. Cool, it's happening. It has opened Amazon.in website, and it's staying for the 5 seconds, and then it will return pass, and then it will quit. Okay, guys, great. Now we'll go to our next step. Now I search for a mobile. It says it can't find a declaration. Now, if I click on this control plus click or command plus click on Mac, it will take me to the definition page. Since it is not declared over here, if I try doing the same thing, it will say cannot find a declaration. So let us declare this now. I search on a mobile, copy this. It's a when statement. I search for mobile, make this an async function right now. You need to open phrase. Yep, yep, it's done now. So now what I'm gonna do is I'll open a new window. Amazon.in. Okay. So this is basically how it looks like, right? So now my job is what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to enter something over here. I want to search 1 plus 70 over here. So the first thing is I need to click over here as a user, right? Say for example, by default it was like this. So if I want to enter text as a user, what I need to do is I want to click over here. I'm going to inspect this. So it says 2-tab search text box. So let me write an XPath for this. You can use this amazing tool, selectors up if you want to find the text. I mean, for finding elements. But for now, what I'm gonna do is I'll write it by myself. I'll explain that thing later if you're new to that. Okay, first I'm gonna go under the input tab. Take the attribute of the ID. Copy this thing. Yep, I'm done. Okay. I'll just copy this particular thing. Just hold a second, guys. My web page has opened. Okay. Okay, now I want to make sure I click on that particular thing, right? So await. So for click, this is the function. You need to declare a asynchronous thing. I'll show you a syntax, how it's being declared. If you want to click on something, just go find this. So here you can find the syntax, like how we are gonna pass it. This is the asynchronous mode we are doing. So this is how you're gonna declare a constant first, or probably you can directly do that. I will show you how we can do it directly. Okay, first you're gonna declare as an await, and then one more await under a bracket to the selector which you are gonna pass. Now a dollar symbol, just like how we saw in the syntax. And then under single quote, pass the IDs which we have, right? Okay. Now, what we need to do is, if you saw in the syntax, it will be just like a click symbol. So we just need to enter click, declare it as a function. Now, what we can do is, I'll just reduce this width so that we can see it quickly. So ideally, we are not supposed to give a hard code, pause in our actual framework. But since we are doing this for a practice purpose, what I'm trying to do is just to make sure you guys see these things happening live, I'm putting these pauses. Okay, so ideally what we are doing in this particular thing is we are going to the Amazon homepage. We are clicking on the search box, right? So that's how we are doing. Now I'll just delete this. I'm gonna run it. We'll go one by one so that you guys can see what exactly happening on each line of code which we pass. Open it. Now we don't see that text box. Now it's clicking. Yeah, so that test case passes. Now what we can do is once it's clicked, now we need to search for some mobile name. I'm gonna search 1+70. We'll see how it goes. Okay, let this pause be there for a while. Now to enter a text into a text box, there is something called as setValue in WebdriverIO. You can see the syntax just like how we saw earlier. You can explore that as well. Right now, what I'm going to do is we will find the ID. Just we have clicked it over there, so we can directly wait. I will just show you in the Amazon page. Okay, now I'll just use this attribute input type equal to text. Okay, we can use this one as well. I just want to make sure it works, on the each ID so that I can show you guys. Type equal to text. Okay, let us take this. V caps over here, set value. Under single quote, I'm passing 1+70. Cool. Copy this, put it over here. Okay. Let me run this now and see how it works. Opening Amazon, clicking over here, passing 1+70. So it has failed. Okay, so now this got failed because I haven't declared this. Okay, we can ignore this for now. That's why I was, removing that. Now I forgot, so it's just displaying that error. Okay. Okay, so once we have entered, okay, there are two things we can do, right? Say, for example, once I enter 1+70, this is what we have done so far, 1+70. Now there are two things a user can do. Either he can click this particular thing or click on search button. Okay, so I have taken the IDs for click on search button. Sorry, just to clear. So there is one thing a user can do is click on search button or just press the enter key. So we can do both the things as a user, right? So what I'm going to do is I will walk you through both the things. I have already taken the X path, so just want to make sure you're aware. I'll just write it down on my own. Okay, I search for a mobile. It's 1000 seconds. So we have entered it now. The next thing we are going to do is click on search icon. Okay. I'll comment this line for now so that we don't get an error. Browser launched, Amazon open, 1+70 entered, and I click on search icon. The results are displayed. Isn't it cool, guys? Yep. Okay. So now one more thing we can do is, instead, I don't want to click it, as a user, I can just usually we press enter button, right? I'll just comment this line. Okay, this is commented. So there is one feature called as pass keys, just like in Selenium use send keys, right? So in the WebdriverIO, we have browser.keys. So I'm using the Unicode of enter key, which is basically UE007. You can find the list of Unicode. I will add these links in the description so that you guys are aware. There are multiple keys, like all the tab, enter, whatever you want, you can pass. For enter, this is a Unicode, UE007. This is the Unicode, right? So I've done that, and then I have paused it for a second. So what will happen now here is you will see it will open Amazon again, search for OnePlus 70, and just press enter key so that we see the search page, right? So that is what it is supposed to happen. We'll see how it works. OnePlus 70 is entered. Now it's click. I mean, the enter key is pressed on the keyboard. We saw the list page, right? Cool. Okay. So let it be. And then the last step is I see OnePlus mobile listed in the page. Okay. Let us declare this function now. It's a then statement, which is basically a validation to make sure it's happening right away. Okay, so this is declared. Now, what we are going to do is, so this is a search page, right? OnePlus 70 web serves. Now, just to make sure whether OnePlus things are displayed over here, I will just make sure, this particular thing, OnePlus 70 is the result for OnePlus 70, right? So this is what I want to verify. I want to get the text of this particular element in the DOM. And if the element says OnePlus 70, it's basically mean my test case is, it's working. So we will use getText. There is something called as getText in WebdriverIO, which will get the text of this particular element. Okay. So now I'll see what is the XPath for this. So this is the XPath for this. What I'm going to do is go to selectors hub, just enter this code and then get the ID. Class. Let us use class over here. Okay, I'm just copying this one now. So what we are going to do is we are going to declare a const variable over here. I'll let the name be page for now. I'm just putting it as a page element just to make sure we are aware of what is happening over there. Equal to await. It's pretty much a similar thing, just like how we have declared the other things. Just like how we declare a variable in any other languages, right? This is very similar to that in JavaScript specifically. Const page equal to await. Yep. Okay, so what I've done is I have taken a const variable named as page and then pretty much assigned a value as a selector, like the element which we have. Now I'm just gonna print it console.log await page, right? This is what we've declared that. You can see that here. Dot get text. So what it will do is it will get the text value, like exactly what it has for that particular element. I'm gonna just save this and quite what I'll do is I'll just run this in just a moment. This will be super fun, guys. Just watch this now. We saw this particular page. Okay, now the test case has passed. If you go over here, right? So here is what our test case has started, like what are the capabilities it has. So what kind of browser it starts? It will pretty much see Chrome browser, right? Chrome driver will start successfully. So if you go over here, it displays logs over here. So once we get to this particular element, you see this particular log over here, right? It has declared, I mean, it is the text value which it has got is OnePlus 70. So we can confirm, these are the results of this particular mobile. So there are multiple other elements in that particular page. For this right now, I have taken this as an example. Pretty much we can use multiple other validations to make sure, we have this particular thing. Yeah, okay, so the next thing would be like if you validate, you can use multiple and or statement to validate using if and for loops, right? To make sure we have got that or not. But for now, as a beginner, I would suggest to go through more through documentations which we have on the WebdriverIO. I'll come up with a very next video where we are gonna navigate more into this Amazon website or some other website that is purpose, and then I will explain you more things. Right now, what we have learned is basically how to open a browser and enter a URL in, and then to navigate like how to click on it, how to enter a text, and then how to get a text of a particular thing. There are multiple things like getting the URL of the pages and like taking a screenshot, recording videos and those stuff other we will gonna learn those things, in the upcoming videos for now. Until then, keep learning. If you have anything, do let me know in the comments, or join the Telegram group where we will be discussing, more about the errors you guys are facing, etc., etc. Right? And don't forget to subscribe the channel, guys, and ask, like, do share this to the people who are actually getting started with the automation testing. So if people are someone who basically knows something about automation testing, I would suggest, this series is not for them. This is for someone who is, into a very beginning of their, automation learning. Thank you for watching, guys. If you watched until here, I'm really grateful, like if you have spent time and to watch these videos. Thank you so much.